Shane's been a client here at Autotech Engineering now for just, probably just under 10 years. He's become a bit of a friend as well over the years. We have a good laugh together and all that, but we share a common interest, which is his vehicles.
My Mustang's in at the moment, 2016 Mustang, supercharged. Well, it's supercharged from Tickford, and we're just doing a little bit more to the heads and things like that to get a little bit more power. I bought it from Tickford themselves. It was one of their development cars. Took a long time to get away from them. They didn't really want to sell it at the time. It was a painful situation, but drove around with it with their standard tune and things like that for a while. It was fine, fantastic. Had a little bit of an itch for a bit more power. Brought it here to Autotech. From there, Spiro tuned it, put a bit more boost into it. Again, you get the itch a little bit later, another 6 months or so, and brought it back and a few more bits and pieces.
Shane bought the Mustang a few years back, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. He brought it in after he'd driven it around for a while, and we did a little bit of work to it. All we did was increased in boost pressure and a retune. The car went really good, made some decent power. Shane was stoked with it, but Shane's a bit of a lunatic when it comes to horsepower and his cars. He loves them. He wanted to get into camshafts and porting some heads and bits and pieces and making it sound a bit more old school. And I was all for it, of course, because these things are great to do.
We're doing a whole heap of head work and development as far as the heads in these things. The new Coyote motors, they're not really that developed in Australia. We're just trying to see exactly what we can get out of the thing. It's not a full rebuild or anything like that. Still a stock bottom end, just a whole heap of work to the heads and a bit more boost again.
We've had the heads ported by Ram's Head Services in Windsor, and we've gone a mil bigger in the valves. We've got upgraded camshafts, so the cams are quite large now. We're going to run a little bit of extra boost because by making the engine more efficient, we are going to drop boost by putting the bigger cam. So we're going to go to a slightly smaller pulley again to give it a bit more boost. But before we get to there, I need to get the tune right. These Mustangs, they're probably one of the most complex cars to tune. So when you start changing camshaft profiles in these engines, the dynamics of the tuning just totally changes. So I want to get all the tune to a point where I'm happy with it, and then I'll crank it up a bit further from there.
I've been coming to Autotech Engineering for just under 10 years now. I choose Autotech for one reason: they're just brilliant at what they do. They do it right the first time for a start, and any issues, if you ever have problems, he's always there to help me out. Spiro and the boys, they're great.
Shane's very, very fussy with his cars, and when we put it in the air, we noticed that the front section of his exhaust was done out of mild steel. So Shane wanted the valves put in, so rather than just modify the back part, which was already stainless, he decided to customise it all the way from the Y pipe up at the front and bring it all back in stainless steel for Shane, because he's a bit fussy, so we just wanted to make sure he was happy with the outcome of the job. When Dan received the bypass valves, they were quite large because they're 3-inch, so he had to fabricate the exhaust to configure it all to get it to work. So it was a much neater and better job to take it all the way from the centre pipes right through to the back rear mufflers.
So we got a generic Y-pipe bimodal. The joys of making a custom exhaust is I can make it suit where I want it. So I cut it and replaced the Y-pipe with just a bend and scalloped it into the rear pipes that I made. The purpose of the bimodal exhaust is daily driving. It's going to run gases through the mufflers, keep noise levels fairly low. And when he wants to be on the track and have a lot of noise, just click a button, bang. Sounds like a race car.
The mufflers in the back end, Dan cleaned them up, painted them black, and they're the exact same mufflers. We've just added the Y-pipe between the centre section of the exhaust and the rear muffler so we can bypass the muffler. That was it.
Every custom job is different. I can do 4 Mustangs. Everyone is going to be different, and I get a thrill off the finished product. I'm happy with this system. It was tricky, but we got there in the end, and I'm happy with how it looks now.
I'm sure Shane will be happy with the outcome, but the main thing is it sounds and performs the way he needs it to perform as well.